Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are working on the John Deere 750 grain drill. We've got a few things we want to update on it. This hydraulic hose holder needs a little bit of reworking. There's just a ton of weight on this thing. It's supposed to be a spring, if I'm not mistaken. Looks a little bit cheesy. It got defiled last season, and I want to change that. We had 4 of these closing wheels here that locked up on us right at the end of the last season, and we would really like to update these to the Needham Ag finger type roller, kind of like this. This is my attempt at it with the Arcdroid CNC machine. They say the finger type kind of rolls the dirt into the trench and doesn't compact it, and it's supposed to be better. They've always said that these cast iron closing wheels were ignorant. Kind of funny how they say that, but is what it is. The problem I have with the Needham Ag ones to get this where I would like it to be is $5 grand. And that's a lot of money. So I've done this design with my CNC table. We're gonna keep an eye on it, see how we like it. And if we need to go to the Needham ones, we will, but it was a little bit labor intensive to do that. We've changed, like I said, 4 sets of bearings on them. All the rest of them are in good shape. The bearings on these closing wheels are just kind of a never-ending battle. They lock up when they want to. They pack with fine dirt powder just from use, and there's nothing really you can do about that other than changing the bearings for I think like $11 and a new rubber seal, and put it back to work. They never really wear out. Moving right along, this thing has been on the channel quite a bit. This is the ScaleTech scale system for the John Deere 750 grain drill. ScaleTech reached out to me and said that they had done a recall, if you will, and they deleted one of these quick plugs, which always draw moisture, right behind the load cell. And this thing is continuing to cause me problems. I think where the problem lies is that we still have quick plugs right there on the gangbank that draw moisture, and then we are dealing with millivolts or milliamps, however they said it, and you cannot get enough power through a quick plug. You need a busway with a actual screwed in bar. And so that's where we're going to end up with this system if it continues to give us problems in this planting season. The very first year this came out, it was flawless performance. We really, really loved it. And I hate to say it, but it has been substandard performance ever since. It always starts ticking up like this, and it's just a complete annoyance. So we may go with Southern Illinois scale and put a whole new head on this thing, a junction box with an actual 3-wire busway. That way there is no quick plugs, and I think that will solve all the problems. Really good thought, ScaleTech, but it needs some redesign. It needs some extra work put into it, and the system was not cheap, so it's kind of a disappointment. Really not upset with ScaleTech. They did the best they could, but for this kind of environment where this thing lives, it needs to be more robust. I'll put it that way. I'm going to clean each one of the quick plugs with brake cleaner and then dry them with compressed air, click them back together, and cross my fingers that this system will actually work for us in this planting season. It appears that cleaning each quick plug with brake cleaner and then thoroughly blowing them out has helped. The ScaleTech tech told me that everyone's initial thought is to cram those full of dielectric grease. Do not do that. They are barely pushing enough current to get through the quick plug, and if you throw it through dielectric grease, it is not going to work. It will gum up the system even worse. Pay no mind to this. I know this is hackery, but my truck is in the repair shop, and I know exactly where my marine terminal battery clamps are sitting, right in its drink holder. So I did this just for testing purposes, and it appears that this system did work. fingers crossed. I think it may be as extreme as if you have a high moisture day, that you may have to take those apart, at least blow them dry with compressed air, then replug them in. Quite a frustration for an expensive system like this. I think I've said enough about it, and we will roll on. Game plan is to delete this madness. We're going to reuse the plate because why not? And then I'm going to chop this ring off here close to where the circle is closed. Mount that up there, plate down here, and this should be much more robust, even though it's lighter duty. Round shape like this is very structural, and it will resist all of this gafooing. Weak point will be the weld here, and the bolts, and the open loop up there. Swag off-road bandsaw. Made very quick work of that with no nasty grinding dust. And this can migrate out to our scrap dump dumpster. Whee! We have that remedied. Paint is still drying. We'll see how this holds up. Might be changing it again in the future, but it certainly looks a lot better than it did. We can get all 4 of our hydraulic lines through there, and they will be held far away from the tire, hopefully. This spindle bolt will be in at the local John Deere dealership on Monday. I twisted this off because I gave no thought to this being a right-hand thread and then over there being a left-hand thread. They want it to tighten as it rolls forward. So, pro little tip there for anybody watching. There is right and left-hand thread on this. And we have all of our cups set to the middle position. I believe that's position D. Ready for soybeans, and we will use the Scale Tech system to get our proper poundage per acre. This will be the end of the first day getting the John Deere grain drill ready for double crop beans. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're new. It really takes a long time to bring you guys out on these adventures. Tim and I are mounting the duals on the mighty TS110 New Holland tractor. We've got this side done. We will simply rinse and repeat on the other side, and then we will get hooked up to the John Deere 750 grain drill. We have the duals on. Mr. Tim is going to drive it over to the other shop. We're going to hook up to the planter, fill it up with diesel. That really makes that thing have a mean stance when you get the duals on it. We are all hooked up to the John Deere 750 grain drill. These poor hoses that run the auger on the back of the thing, they have had a hard life. I think this is our second set. There was a guy that borrowed the machine and lost the hoses, hooked it on a tire. I don't know whatever happened, but these lasted about a month before they were pretty well defiled. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they're already ripped to the wires. Fortunately, they only run the auger, and we can get by without them because we have forklifts to load our beans. So if they blow out, no big deal. We've got them zip tied. We've got our new hydraulic hose holder here. We'll see how this thing holds up, see if it does a little better this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got that solved. Unfortunately, the local John Deere dealership sent me a wrong bolt for the closing wheel. I need a left-hand thread, and it was also a different diameter than this. So we're just gonna have to go without that one because we gotta start getting beans in the field. We're gonna go ahead, get our box filled, and dial in our settings with the Scale Tech scale system. We are planting at 5 miles per hour. This is our second pass on this 8-acre field known as Birds. Just chugging right along. We are planting approximately 87 pounds to the acre. Very frustratingly, the Scale Tech system has let us down again. That's all I'm going to say about it. Very frustrating. Very fortunate to have the Ag Leader system, because without markers, you could not even see where you are going. That was planted already. So this would be impossible without the ag leader system. Putting in these double crop soybeans, you could have the Yetter markers that go on these grain drills, but that's another system you've got to put on. So this you can use with a 5100 or a corn planter, which we often use. I'm going to wrap up this video right here. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're new. We always go on these adventures together, and we're building quite a nice little sized community. So again, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.